Hi, my name is Leslie Williams, and today's date is April 23rd, 2012, and I'm in San Diego, California, and I'm a target of what is known as organized stalking, which is also called gang stalking. And this particular video file is going to be made, even though I got a dummy over here, this particular video file is being made in order to be able to help people understand what's happening towards me along my routes. And I'm subject to organized stalking, direct conversation tactics and visual gestures that are brought about towards me by students and staff on this university campus. I also experienced it as well over at SDSU. And what we have to understand here, folks, is that I'm exposing what's going on in the neighborhood in reference to the San Diego Police Department, the San Diego Fire Department, and how they played a direct role in 2006. I have saved emails that go all the way back to 2006 that clearly show me describing what was happening to me, but I wasn't saying gang stalking because I didn't know about gang stalking back then. It also points out the fact that Point Loma library staff were playing a role in it. Now, I come back out here again in 2011, and it automatically occurs towards me again in 2011 up to this very date, April 23rd, 2012. I have undisputable proof online at Google and YouTube, literally flat out showing that I'm being gang stalked. Go to YouTube and type in "learning disabled woman catches gang stalkers admitting they were put on the bus to harass." You will flat out be able to see that 3 teenagers were caught on my digital tape recorder admitting that they were put on the bus to harass me in ways that I was already talking about on blogs and YouTube videos before the fact. This proves that I'm being gang stalked. There's also YouTube videos online showing me catching the San Diego Police Department flat out admitting to my face they will not take a report about me being gang stalked. Why? Because they played a direct physical role in it happening to me in San Diego in 2006, which the emails back up the fact that I was describing I was being gang stalked in 2006, and they played a direct role in reference to evicting me from a campsite and what they did over police dispatch that made me believe a certain thing, which in turn caused me to go back to Michigan, where I was literally tortured for 4.5 years. Now, what I experienced in Michigan was already being blogged about. ACLU has posted blogs in reference to what has happened to me. Go to the ACLU blogs, Tortured Tunes. You'll see my comment feature number 6, and also pay close attention to the comment number 1. Yeah, and I'm going to show you right now that I'm making this video file on today's date by my cell phone. What it says, Sunday, April 25th, April 23rd, I mean, at 11:41 a.m. And this video file is being made to show you, to predict what kind of tactics are going to use towards me along my routes, my walking routes, once I leave USD campuses. When I visit the business community in large, I'm harassed by business employees. Every business I go to, Jack in the Box, Ultra Star Theaters, over at Hazard Center and Fashion Valley, Ralph's, CVS, Burger King. I am literally harassed by customers, people that come in and behaving as customers, by security, and by employees, including management. Now, and what they're doing is trying to stage these events using also homeless people along my routes, because homeless people are hard to trace after the fact. They are used as a buffer between me and the San Diego police. In other words, they stage incidences, assaults, harassment, including even witnesses, and then use these staged street theaters to be a buffer between me and the police, because the police are called as a result of what transpires in the street theater. And this is done to make it look like the police are not involved for non-transparency reasons. As a result, the police are called, and then they make a falsified police report. Will this tactic be used towards me in reference to my hiking area? Because the San Diego police want to be able to start accumulating documentation that Target is homeless, even though they're the ones that created the homelessness. Google organized stalking and homelessness creating of targets. It's their main objective. They create the homelessness and then try and claim the target can't take care of themselves as a result of being destitute. They then offer them services that they can go to and rely on. They like a homeless shelter, where a target is literally stalked to the homeless shelter. Fellow clients are paid off to harass the target in the same way after the papers are signed, causing the target to want to leave. Then they make documentation target would not stay or accept services. This is all done for accumulated documentation purposes to eventually contain the target based on these falsified documents that are made. The police reports, the corrupt county mental health reports, which are usually achieved through petitioning the target into the hospital, or when the target will break down and call 911. That's when they use the corrupt mental health, county mental health, doctors and neighborhood hospitals. Go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a gang stalker that clearly describes how they operate and who they are. And police and fire departments are flat out mentioned in it, as well as lawyers, judges, and doctors. It's called the psychiatric reprisal. So what they'll do is use a homeless person who's hard to trace after the fact. They come along my hiking area while I'm in there, create all kinds of disturbances to try and either provoke me into an altercation, or they will actually come to my hiking area and provoke one, and then one of them calls 911s, or a passerby, like a citizen walking by going for a walk, or somebody in the business community, or a landscaper, or a utility personnel who's just all of a sudden there to fix the power lines. All you have to do is extensively research gang stalking or organized stalking to see that these are the types of people that they will use in the community to make it appear that they're in the neighborhood for normal appearing reasons, and as a result, they're there right when an incident is brought about that they staged to begin with. As I am making this video right now, an individual is approaching me with their headlights on. Google organized stalking and car headlights. Boom. Because what they want to do is make you feel like no matter where you go, you're going to be harassed. That's an association they form in the target's mind, that a target is being stalked as a result of them knowing where you're at. They drive by you with their headlights on. This is what they do. Right now, it's exactly 11:42 a.m. in the morning on April 23rd, 2012. There's no reason for anybody to be driving by me with headlights on. Google that. Gang stalking or organized stalking the car headlights. This is how they operate and what they do. The whole goal is to achieve syndicated control of individuals that are on disability. They go after single women, single mothers, people on disability. The whole goal is to tear their lives down, and then once they get their lives torn down by creating homelessness, Google organized stalking in landlords, organized stalking in property owners, organized stalking in postal employees. That's how they stole my rent to achieve the homelessness. Then they get you out in the community. They stalk you to a motel room, they'll stalk you to a homeless shelter, and they barter and bargain with people in the community to have them aid and abet them in the stalking and harassment in street theaters that are brought about towards the target while they're destitute trying to survive the situation. This is all done to break the target down. It's also done to steer the target into environments they control, while discrediting the target in the midst of these expeditions. And this is flat out literally what they do in order to achieve the original objective, which is exploitation of the target's monthly Social Security check, the exploitation of their Medicare, because when a target breaks down, they go to the hospital or are petitioned into the hospital. That's where they'll book the Medicare out of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars each and every time they break down. That money is pipelined back to the individuals who took a role in breaking the target down. It's called kickbacks. Google 4 mentally disabled individuals kept in a basement in Philadelphia for 11 years. That woman had syndicated control of those individuals, and she had the identification card of 50 other individuals on disability. Do the math. And how did this individual get a hold of them? She had a felony on her record for murder. Yeah, because she was granted access to these individuals, syndicated through a syndicated probate attorney. Yeah, with a felony on her record, she gets syndicated control. Also, Google Pennsylvania judge sentenced to 28 years for getting kickbacks because he was sentencing first-time misdemeanor children to the full maximum sentences so he could get kickbacks because the detention center was privately owned. They applied for federal funds per child. All those federal funds, a part of it was kicked back to the judge. This is how they operate. And this is what they're doing. USD and SDSU are literally intercepting my emails for help. Okay, U of M in Dearborn, Michigan did the same exact thing. These people are doing nothing but protecting who they use because they use their employment description to achieve these objectives. Police officers, fire department, EMS. There's two other targeted individuals that I know of right now. You can go to YouTube and type in Norm Wicks. That's the name of their YouTube channel. They're doing the same thing to both of them. Norman Wicks and Tracy Wicks. They're both on disability. Also, you can Google and YouTube Sylvia Morales. She's another known target in San Diego. They are nothing but organized crime within the system, breaking down people's lives that are on disability in order to bring about these schemes once they're destitute, in order to exploit them and what they got by using their employment descriptions to do it. Okay? They're using electronic harassment against targets, remote neural monitoring, influencing, and stimulating. and organized stalking, which is also known as gang stalking. And they use universities as well, because a lot of targets, once they're homeless, go to libraries in order to kill time. They go to university libraries, public libraries, in order to be able to try and research in reference to finding out information about what's happening to them, what kind of help they might be able to get, and any email they send for help is intercepted and rerouted from the very place they go to, because they're syndicated within the system. Go to YouTube and type in "Listen to a Stranger." It's a video concerning how they operate in part. They use their badges and power positions in the community to get anybody in the community, including businesses, libraries, universities, anybody in the community they can, to aid and abet in these schemes, because they got to be able to make sure that the exposure is never, that it's never exposed, and they got to make sure that the objective is achieved before exposure occurs. And this is what they're going to end up doing. They're going to end up bringing anybody and everybody they can through normal appearing means to come about me towards my hiking area, to be a buffer between me and the police. And they're also harassing me along my routes, including trolley routes, walking routes, businesses. I'm literally being harassed through these physical gestures that is described in the Learning Disabled Woman Catches Gang Stalker admitted they were put on bus to harass in that YouTube video. I literally flat out caught them admitting it on digital tape recorder, and blogs were written before and after the fact of the evidence, which shows that the crime was going on before it was caught, and it's still occurring today. Which shows not only premeditation, but it also shows malice aforethought, criminal intent, retaliation, and harassment. And all they want to do is be able to make sure that this crime is not exposed. Okay, that's why they keep targets isolated, and that is achieved through intercepting emails. Who do we got here? Ooh, boom. My name is Leslie Williams. I expose these crimes because of the extreme criminality that is associated to it, what happens to targets, how they're exploited sexually, how they're exploited monetarily, how their property is taken over, and how they're tormented once they get this control. They're put in group homes where they're just constantly harassed in order to continue to try and break them down. Then they blame all the harassment on the target, use that as a reason to petition them back in the hospital with the Medicare is built again out of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. That money is kicked back to the individuals who participate in it. It's nothing but torture for money, and they will do anything and everything in their ability to save their ass in reference to exposure, because they will go to jail for this shit. It's felony up to the extreme. The only thing they care about is making sure that they commit the crime to make money off the crime and to escape exposure from the crime. And they'll do it by calling targets like me crazy, mentally ill, delusional, paranoid schizophrenic, bipolar, or that I don't want to get myself out of this destitution situation. Bullshit. I go and rent an apartment. They set up electronic harassment. They run apartments next to targets. Google that. Organized stalking, run apartments next to targets. My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California, 2012. I'm making this video at USD campus. If it's not uploadable, it's because they're literally using what is described in the remote neural monitoring file. They had the capacity to literally, through RF filtering, access any electronic device, compromise the internal functions of it in order to be able to shut it down, or they'll prevent it from being uploaded at the library. Literally. My name is Leslie Williams. Google and YouTube everything I said in reference to the description of their methods and tactics, and you'll clearly be able to see that what I'm describing are factual realities when it comes to organized stalking objectives.